Here's how a broke person like me saves money. Look at your bank statement. You don't have to do it every month, but at least do it once. I'm always finding charges that I don't approve of. So then you call up your bank, put on a little bit of charm, and see what they can do to help. 1 2-second phone call just got me reimbursed $75.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
This is how you can start saving money on a low income. This is exactly what I did to save up for my down payment and all of the other expenses that came with buying a home as a single parent, single income, and not a lot of money. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut something small. It may not feel like you have any money floating around. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Things are pretty tight, but there's something. You want to review your bank statements, see what kind of subscriptions you have that maybe you can get rid of. There's something. Maybe you're paying for Netflix and you can use somebody else's. Maybe you want to downgrade from Apple Music to Pandora, which is free. Like, there's something. So you're going to want to review it, figure out what you can cut, and cut something small. The next thing you're going to want to do is automate your savings. Most businesses at this particular point allow you to get direct deposit for your paycheck. You're going to want to go into whatever that system is for your job and automate your savings. Start with something small. That expense you just cut, go ahead and use that money, that $5, $10, whatever it is, and automatically have it go into a separate savings account. Not the same savings account that is attached to your checking account. That money's too easy to transfer. Go ahead and open a separate savings account that is an online savings account, because it's not as easy to get to. It usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to transfer that money. And if you automate it, it goes there automatically. When you get paid, you never see it, therefore you never miss it. And last but not least, that savings account that you're opening, that separate account, you want it to be a high yield savings account. More than likely, like I said, it's going to be an online account. I use Ally Banking, or Ally. It might not be banking, but they have a higher interest rate than what a normal bank would have. Like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all of those have really, really small interest rates, like your APY that you get on the money you have in there. And that's just kind of throwing money away. So you want your money to make money. Even if it's not a lot, it's going to grow. So you're going to want to put it in a high yield savings account. You're welcome in advance.
How to save money when you're broke. Number 1, sell old things you don't need. Number 2, grocery shop and cook more. Number 3, avoid using credit cards. Number 4, attend free events. Number 5, start a side hustle. Number 6, try no spend days.
How to budget when you're broke. Real talk that works. All right, let's talk budgeting for real, because I know some of y'all are out here like, budget what? I barely got money to budget. But listen, this ain't about being perfect. This is about getting control over your money, even if it's tight. So let's start. Okay, so step 1, write down everything that's coming in and coming out. Okay, grab a notebook or your phone, write down exactly how much you make, no fantasy numbers, the real amount. Then list every little single thing you spend your money on: bills, food, Uber Eats, random coffee. You got to know where your money is going. Step 2, set your priorities. Now this is where it really gets real. Bills come first. Rent, lights, water, food, anything you need to survive. But listen, we are talking groceries, not DoorDash every night. Cut the extras for now, it's only temporary. Step 3, the 50, 30, 20 rule, but remix it. If your money's tight, the classic 50, 30, 20% rule might feel impossible, so remix it. 70% needs, because survival first. 20% to wants, because you can't deprive yourself 24/7. 10% to savings, even if it's only $5, you have to save something. Step 4, hustle smart. If your budget is still not budgeting, then it's time to bring in extra cash. Sell stuff you don't need, or pick up a side hustle. Pick up gig work like Instacart, Uber Eats, It doesn't have to be for long. We're just doing it so that you can bring in some instant cash and get out of your situation. Step 5, check your budget weekly. Budgeting isn't set it and forget it. Check back once a week. Did you overspend? What can you adjust for next week? Keep doing it. It gets easier. Look, budgeting is not about being perfect. It's about taking control over your money, even if it's just a little bit at a time. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your money start working for you. Okay, just to show you that I'm not just a talker, I'm also a doer, I have purchased this bank from Amazon. And it's one of those banks that once you put money in, you cannot get it out unless you bang it open with a hammer. So this is it. You hear it? This is metal. So you put your money in here. I have money. I'm also getting ready to put in money in here because I'm not just preaching to the choir. I'm also preaching to myself. So here we are. Like I said, you don't have to wait till the new year to start. Start now. There you go.
Okay, internet. We are going to talk about old poor versus new poor because I don't know about you. Right now, my timeline is full of no by 2025 or low by 2025, Project Pan, all the things, right? Everybody's decluttering, everybody's saving money, all of the things. But there is some discourse that I have noticed, and that is the old poor versus new poor, and those tips won't help me type of rhetoric, right? And I get it. Like, I myself am an old poor, but also I think we need to remember a few things about this. Number 1, every tip is not for you. Number 2, be nice to the new poors, okay? Like, they are just getting started. Where they start is fine. And there are still other things out there for old poors, for lack of a better word. So what I wanted to do, I want to start with like some medium poor tips, which are things that like us old poors know, but perhaps, you know, lifestyle creep happened. We just get off track sometimes, right? Maybe we need some reminders, or maybe they're like things that your particular brand of old poor didn't experience or didn't know, and that's okay too. So I want to start off with like some medium poor tips, and this is probably going to have to be multiple parts because I was like really on it last night when I was starting to write these out. So let's go ahead and dive in. These are some medium poor tips. So like reminders for the old poors in case you had some lifestyle creep, which it happens, or these are things that maybe you haven't experienced, or maybe they're going to be some really helpful tips for the new poors. So the first thing that we know not to do, but sometimes creeps back in, is buying pre-cut or pre-prepared things. So I'm talking like pre-cut fruit, cookie dough, things that we can make at home generally most of the time. And there is one caveat to this, and that is if you have a good coupon, which I will talk at length about coupons because I have a lot of feelings about that. Any kind of like brownie, cake mix, that sort of thing. In general, sticking to homemade or buying the whole fruit and cutting it up or things of that nature, generally going to be a lot more affordable than buying the pre-prepared items. The second thing that we know and sometimes creeps back in is ordering food, okay? So like where I live is very rural, and so it costs like $9 just for the delivery fee. I'm not even joking. Last time it was like $9 for the delivery fee and I don't know, however much extra for the tip plus the cost of the food. I mean, to get what we got here in town where we got it, not even worth it. And at the time, like, it was just one of those times overwhelmed. I think I've done it like 2 times ever, and I'm just like, I can never do this again. Look for your local places, right? Like, what we ordered was technically really what we could have gotten here. I just wanted it from that specific place, but I could have gotten that exact food in town, run down and grabbed it myself. It wouldn't have been a big deal. So that's generally not something that a lot of us old poors are doing anyway, but I did have to throw that in there. Okay, another one is our little like going out to coffees. And I know, I've seen it in the comments, but remember, these are medium poor tips, okay? Things that could creep back in, but are generally things that we probably wouldn't do, is going out to coffee. Now, one of the big things that I have learned is that I don't leave the home without a beverage in hand, right? And that doesn't matter if it's an iced coffee I made at home. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, soda that I put in a cup with ice because I wanted a soda that day, or just a bottle of water. All those little things can add up. Like those gas station fountain sodas, a bottle of water here, like we all know it's going to be more expensive out. So making sure that every time you leave the house, you have a beverage with you. I think this is really important in the summer. And it's something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about is like, there have been times where people, like things happen on the interstate that people are stuck in their cars for like hours on end. And if you don't have a beverage with you, that's like kind of dangerous, especially like where I live, it gets very hot. So anyway, not leaving the house without a beverage. So we're not like picking beverages up here and there. I know like yeah, I know. When you are purchasing groceries, stay away from bottled water and bottled drinks. I feel like a lot of the videos that I see of people complaining about grocery prices, they have like cases of water and cases of drinks. Now, if you need something like electrolytes, like maybe you have athletes in the house or whatever, first of all, with the water, like get the refillable jugs. If you have a filling station that's close to you where you can fill your own jugs, definitely do that, or buy a water filter for home. It's going to be a lot cheaper over the course of its use than continually buying bottled water plus the plastic waste. But if you need like electrolytes or something like that, switch to packets, right? The flavor packets that you can put in your own water, those tend to be much cheaper than buying the pre-bottled drinks. Okay, this is getting really long, so I'm going to say this is part 1. Remember, these are medium poor, right? This is lifestyle creep tips. I will go into some really digging in there type of tips for some of the old poors who really are like, okay, I do all that stuff. I haven't let my lifestyle creep, whatever. I do have some things for you. I just made a list and I'm working down it, but these are good reflection points just to kind of start off with. Hopefully they help someone, and I will be back with more.
Apparently I'm on the old poor versus new poor side of TikTok, and as somebody from the old poor side, I just want to welcome all of the new poor. We're here to help you, to support you, to provide you any tips and tricks to help you get through and learn how to be a good poor. I do have a question for all of the old poors though. What is a staple food from your childhood or from your old poor days that you just cannot break away from? Even if you can afford the more expensive version now, you just gravitate to that. It's like your comfort food. It just brings you back. Mine is Maruchan chicken top ramen. I still keep this as like a staple in my house. It's what I would eat when I would come home from school, getting ready to watch TRL. I would make top ramen. Now it's like when I'm not feeling well, when I'm hungover, when I just need like some noodles and hot broth. It's like so good. So what is yours? Let's help the new poor find their go-to poor food.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Let's go over some things that I've been doing as a broke person to save money and try not to be as broke anymore. I made breakfast. Let's do it. The thing that I majorly cut is doing fun stuff. There have been a couple instances in the past couple of months where I actually did go out and have fun. I went to the Olivia Rodrigo concert. I went out with my friends a couple times, but for the most part, I don't do anything. If you're looking to save money, just be a homebody. Another thing that I cut out of my budget, I cut out a ton of subscriptions. When I first made my budget sheet, it was really tough to go through and manually delete so many subscriptions, but I still do have the Hulu, Disney Plus, bundle, Max, Amazon Prime. But I am still splitting 2 of those. It's not ultimately I wasn't gonna cancel them anyways. I'm trying to think. Another one is food. Actually got really bad at food and everything. Let me let my dog in real quick. It was actually really hard for a while to find a balance with food. I figured out a good middle ground for me was if I am eating out at least once a week, then that's like a treat. That's only if I buy groceries, and the first time I bought groceries in 3 months was on this past Monday. I can go through what I bought too because it's not exciting. Captain Crunch berries, 18 count of eggs, shredded cheese, I got sliced cheese, a case of water, a case of Diet Dr. Pepper because I always have a soda kick. I got a couple energy drinks, Honey a dog bone. Yeah, she's weird. And I got milk and frozen waffles. Ultimately, I just don't spend money on anything like outside of food and stuff for my dog. New clothes, that's not in my budget. Buying new like makeup, buying new like blah blah blah, going on trips, like all of that is cut from my budget. For now at least. I'm trying to build that savings so that I don't end up back into old habits. If you're in the same boat as me, don't recommend doing anything that I'm doing. I just wanted to share my story and what I have been doing. Made Captain Crunch berries. Okay, bye.
Here are 3 effective ways to save money that don't seem like you're saving money in the moment. Number 1, cutting back on alcohol. Obviously, alcohol is expensive, so yes, you are saving money as a direct result of that. The second reason for that, and I think this is what's often overlooked, is the amount of money that you're spending when you're out drinking. Once you're drunk, and I think we all have been guilty of that, we are a lot more careless with our money. Like, we will order a round of shots for everyone. We are so much more likely to spend a lot more money in a party context, especially when we're drinking. Number 2, spending less time on social media, and more specifically, unfollowing influencers that make us feel poor. I think apart from the very obvious influencers whose job, like that's why they're influencers, is literally to sell us things so that they can make money, there are like those tricky influencers that like show off their lifestyle without directly even selling something. Seeing influencers flaunt their lifestyle, I think, invites a lot of insecurity and a tendency to spend money on things that subconsciously resemble the things that we see online. Unfollowing influencers that make us feel like peasants. And then number 3, buying more books. Sounds very counterintuitive at first, but I mean, of course it depends on the books that you're buying, but I know for me, buying books like Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover or Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, not only can we buy books used for very little money. Literally, I once bought a book on Amazon for $2 and shipping was like more expensive because I didn't have Prime. But buying the right books, the right nonfiction books, will save us tons of money down the line. Other books like Atomic Habits or 12 Rules for Life, they teach us how to live a more responsible, better organized life that will directly translate to our habits around money. So you don't want to not spend $7 on a used book about money because you're saving money.
She actually made a good point about the influencers and stuff like that. Be careful about who you watch and who you listen to. A lot of us are easily influenced by who we hear. Be very careful about who influences you. It's very important.
Can somebody please explain to me what is up with the new poor and why they have to call everything ghetto when it's nowhere near that? The first time I experienced it was a few years ago, and me and this girl, we went to Huntsville, where she's from. And if you know anything about Huntsville, Alabama, understand like there's a NASA center there and like literal rocket scientists live there. And we're driving and she's like, oh yeah, this is like our hood. And I looked back at her and I said, ma'am, that's a gated community. Like the gates, like it's gated. And she's like, but this is where the poor people live. And then I just had my last roommate. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath, carpeted, fully renovated, brand new fridge, all that good shit. We even got another new fridge because she broke that one. We literally live across from a fucking neighborhood. Like I'm talking like a suburban middle class neighborhood. And let me make this clear. We had an HOA for the apartment complex. And she's like, because I love to go to park. She's like, there's a park there, but you got to be careful because like I found out that this is actually like, this is the ghetto. Like this is hood. We have an HOA run by an old white lady named Helen. And like I laughed in her face because like, baby, if you have not been woken up by drive-bys, do not talk to me about the hood. Like I still got family members in Chisholm, Montgomery, Alabama. Like, come on. And the hood. That's like calling Deer Creek in Montgomery, Alabama the hood. Shut up. And I cannot help but feel like there's a little bit of like a racist thing to it. I'm just going to be honest, because all these other girls that were saying this stuff to me, all the new poors that I've heard say it, are all the same shade as me. And I can't help but feel like there's that little macro aggression going on, because I don't even feel like it's micro. Am I right or am I wrong? Can someone just, what is up with the new poor and these
Tell me how I just left Target, right? Tampons, makeup removing wipes, and the Philips Sonicare little replacement heads for my toothbrush. $65 and some change. I understand the state of our economy has been in the dumps for some time now. I get inflation. I understand all that. What I can't wrap my head around is why it costs $30 for the toothbrush replacement heads for my toothbrush, just so I can keep my teeth clean and not have to spend extra money at the dentist. And then don't get me started on tampons and the fact that there's a pink tax and I have to actually pay for something that is not my choice every month, you know? Just make it make sense, you know?
I'm currently trying to get myself out of the habit of spending money, especially on necessities, and then making myself feel bad afterwards. Like, I'll literally go to the grocery store and spend $40 and be like, damn, I can't believe I just spent that $40. I could have used that for this. I could use that for that. It's like, damn, I can't believe I just spent that $50 on gas. Like, bitch, this is a necessity. Like, you have to eat, bitch, and you have to have gas. Like, it'd be different. I was out here buying fucking designer bags and shit. Like, bitch, you're not wasting money if you're buying things that you need. And I'm really trying to get myself out of that, because it's such a poverty-ass mindset. And I'm trying to get myself out of that poverty-ass mindset. But it's just like having like unstable income for so long, and like, y'all know the deal, balancing so many jobs and still not having enough money has really traumatized the fuck out of me, honestly. And I'm still working through that fucking trauma. Like, literally, I spent like $100 today, but I literally only spent money on groceries and gas and like stuff that I literally needed, like fucking deodorant, which is something I can't skim out on deodorant. I have that deodorant. So I'm trying to get myself out of this poverty ass mindset, because it's just like, damn, bitch, you beat yourself up for buying fucking food. You need food. And like, I'm eating out every day. I cook every meal, and I'm vegan, so I personally feel like my groceries are a lot cheaper than most people. Like, I'm not buying like short ribs and beef and all that shit. Like, my shit is pretty inexpensive because I eat mainly vegetables. So it's just like, shit is just overpriced, you know?
I'm gonna say something. I am too poor and too cheap to develop an insecurity strong enough that I need plastic surgery. Because let me tell you, the other day I was talking to a family friend of mine, and she said she got her titties done, and it was cost $14,000. My insecurity would leave out the gate if to fix my insecurity would cost me $14,000. See this tooth right here? That shit is crooked. It was my permanent retainer broke, and so I wanted to get a Invisalign to fix it, and it cost, and they told me it was $5,000, and it's the same $5,000 my teeth are all like this. So I was like, listen, call me Crooked Smile, like J. Cole said, because I am not spending $5,000 to fix a crooked tooth. Like, that ain't gonna happen. Like, so, you know what? We are going to not have insecurities today. I'm going to get over it like that. Nope. I see people on this app every day. They get lip fillers and Botox and you know, some CO2 facial or whatever, and they're spending close to $10,000 a year. And you know, I'm for it. You know, I have no problem. You can get every insecurity fixed. I am just too poor and too cheap to fix any of that. Because if you gave me a bill of $10,000 to fix my titties, my ass, my stomach, my insecurity will go away. I promise you my insecurity will go away about that. Because I cannot deal with paying these prices. I had to pay $1,000 for my acupuncturist because I had like really bad back pain and I was just desperate, and that was the hardest thing to pay for, and that was because I had developed like chronic ass pain. So I just mixed it. That's because I was developing chronic ass pain and I was just desperate. Okay, so that was like so I can't do it. I can't do it when people are spending money, and they're like $800 fillers here, and but I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know how people do it. I'm not saying I will never do it, but let me tell you, if you guys want me to develop an insecurity, get me 10,000 followers on TikTok and get me some more money, because I am too poor to have it right now. So that's a privilege, is all I'm saying. So y'all want to support my insecurity, you are more than welcome to, because up to this point, I'm too broke to even be insecure. Insecure enough to fix anything. I'm just trying to survive and pay groceries out here. So, no. So, you guys, not against plastic surgery, but I do think it's a hell of a privilege to be insecure in this day and age. So, y'all want to support me to have money enough to develop an insecurity strong enough to pay those prices? You are more than welcome to.
What happened to like going to Walmart back in the day because we were fucking poor and you got like a $150 and you had like a fucking mile long receipt? $250 some right here. What in the fuck? And I didn't even buy eggs.
Y'all, so I'm about to go home and make burgers, and today I went to Aldi. I got the meat for 4 burger patties, and it was about $8 or $9. And then I just left Jewel because I got home and I was like, oh, I don't have no toppings, let me run to Jewel and get some toppings. I bought bacon, lettuce, and 2 tomatoes, and that was $30. So altogether, for me to go home and cook burgers myself, I spent about $40. I could have just went in and bought me a quarter pounder from McDonald's. So when y'all ask me why I keep eating McDonald's, why I won't cook at home, it would have saved me time and maybe a little bit of money if I'd have just went to McDonald's.
Yo, when we was young, we all had like a certain number we thought if we got to, we was gonna be good. Like, yo, if I ever make that much money in my life, yo, I'm telling you, yo, like, I made it. That shit was so far from the truth, yo. Like, I make more money every single year, and I ain't even talking about no little bit of paper. Like, but yo, it don't feel, they keep raising the prices on shit, yo. Like, I remember I was like, yo, I'm a fucking, yo, if I ever pay this much for a car, yo, I'm gonna be driving something crazy. But regular cars high now. You know what I'm saying? Rent high, groceries high, gas high, like everything high, yo. I need something, somebody in this presidential race. The government fucking us over. These bitches really hate us, yo. My grandparents bought a house for $6,000 at one point in their life. I hate this shit here, yo. Like,
man, I feel for people right now. All I got is $3.80, and I'm trying to find a snack or something to eat. It feels like I'm back to my broke days when I was like 18, and $3.80 went a lot farther then. But man, I can't find nothing at this grocery store that I want. Even eggs are more than $3.80. How are you guys making it? Like, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? I haven't felt this way in a long time. I can't even buy ketchup. I can't even buy ketchup. Like, yeah, we're supposed to live and thrive in this environment. I can't. Usually I don't look at prices. You know what I'm saying? I got my credit cards. I got cash on me. But I left everything at home, so I got this gift, $3.80. Wait, can I buy sriracha? I can't even buy sriracha. This is insane. How do people make it? I'm literally in shock right now. I guess I could buy some noodles and boil it in water without sauce. But okay. What the heck? Or I could buy salsa, but then I need chips. Oh my word, what the heck? This is insane. How do people make it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally shocked right now. I can't even, wait. I can't get almond milk. That's too much. I'm lactose free, I'm dairy. Oh man, this is getting depressing. This is getting very depressing right now. I'm done with this video. I can't take it. I can't take it.
Even the snacks are like $4 to $6 or something like that. Like everything in the store these days is so expensive. Eggs are like $9 right now. Simple eggs, 12 eggs, $9, easy. Even the bread is like, I think $5 or $6 just for a few slices of bread. It's actually ridiculous. How much longer can we take this? How much longer? How much more can we endure and just tolerate overall? I hope that things really change soon, because this just cannot continue.
Welcome back for part 2 of what I call medium poor tips, which apparently a lot of you related to. If you haven't watched part 1, please go back and watch that. But if you're new here, medium poor is essentially just if you're old poor, as they say here on the internet, but maybe you've had a little bit of lifestyle creep, or if you're new poor and just looking for ways to cut costs and save a little extra money, here are some tips that will help you. I'm only going to focus on one thing in this particular video because it's kind of a big one and I talk a lot anyway, so we're just going to keep things as simple as possible, and that is auto payments, right? We have auto payments for so many things now, and it can just become second nature to be like, oh yeah, that thing's coming out, that costs that much, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? So some of the things that I recently went through at the end of the year, did a big, looking through all of the things, all of the subscriptions, and I was able to save myself $33 a month for various finagling that I did. So one of the things that I did was I canceled my device insurance on my cell phone. I always have a tempered glass protector and a case on it, and my phone is over a year old now, and so as we know, they'll only replace they'll always find a reason not to take care of you, and so I just decided that it was not worth the $8 a month, so I canceled my cell phone insurance. My husband and I canceled our streaming services, but then got Black Friday deals with my name because they were previously in his name. So that saved us, I believe, another like $13 or $15 a month. And then there were a couple other things too. One of the things was for my business. I found a similar service that I could use for my business that was $5 cheaper per month. And I cannot remember at the moment what that last one was, but all total, going through all of our subscriptions, all of the auto payments that we have, was $33 a month in savings. And if you are already like, okay, well, I don't have streaming, or, streaming is my only joy, right? There are other things you can do. Number one, if you have more than one streaming, analyze which ones you use most. If they're like, sometimes there's a streaming service that we like, we're like, come on, it's only $8 a month, just let me have this. If you only use it to watch like one show and you're waiting for the new season, just cancel it until that season comes out. Like, you can have it just for a couple of months to watch the new season or whatever else is new on there, and then just cancel it again. Like, it doesn't have to be something that you have all the time. And before people are like, well, I can never have it, then that tip's not for you. But if you're somebody who likes to have a streaming service, that's the one thing you want to spend some money on, just analyze how much you're actually using it. Same with things like, I know people get like Audible subscriptions or whatever you call them, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I have so many credits right now. I don't know if you cancel it. If I would assume that since you've paid for the credits, you get to keep them, but somebody can maybe correct me on that in the comments if that's not the case. But just pause things or cancel them, or look and analyze how much you actually use them. And then one other thing that you can do is check in with your insurance agent and see what kind of tweaks can be done to your policy. Now be careful, because every policy has a deductible, right? And you don't want to get that deductible so high that it will be like financial ruin if you have a claim. But sometimes even just rewriting the same policy will actually save you money. It is so weird, because my insurance agent actually called me the last renewal. We pay every 6 months because we do get a discount for it. We just put the money away gradually. But the last time that we had a renewal, they called me and they're like, hey, because I go through a broker. That's another tip too, is when you're buying your car insurance, house insurance, that sort of thing, if you can find somebody who's a broker who can pull from multiple companies, that can help you as well. And so that's the type of person I go through. And they called me and they're like, your policy is going up by a lot. And it's so weird because you don't have any claims or anything like that. are you cool with us shopping around? And I'm like, yes, please. Because it was going to go up like $300. Instead, we got better coverage for like $200 less than we were originally paying. So just checking in on that stuff, not like, it's so easy because they make it annoying to get the better deals, right? Like my husband is always like every 6 months or so calling up our internet company to be like, okay, like what's the deal? You know, I want this, that, and the other. Like you want to keep me as a customer, here's what we need to do, you know, and just seeing what's available, seeing what's out there, and not just being like, oh, I guess it went up this month. And finally, going back to the cell phone thing, is there a cheaper carrier in your area that is as good? That is one thing, because like I live kind of rural. There are 2 or 3 big companies, but some of them work in some towns, some of them don't work in, you know, they might work in other towns. So check and see what a good carrier is in your area, if they have any deals, if it is worth switching. And also, don't come for me. If you have unlimited everything, do you actually need unlimited everything? Is it worth what you're paying? Are you using it enough to justify that? And if you are, that's great. Keep it. If you have teenagers and it's kind of risky, keep it. But if you're someone like, I'm usually at home, I have like a certain, I don't know if it's not a lot, it's maybe 5 or 10 gigs of data every month. And I never go over because I'm usually where there's Wi-Fi. So if you're somebody who is like me, who's usually at home or at somewhere else where you have access to Wi-Fi and you don't need an unlimited plan, that's a great way to cut back too. Because I think my cell phone bill is almost half of what it would be for unlimited. So that is another thing to think about as well. Or even just anything else that you do routinely, places that you might go routinely, are there less expensive versions of that? So I will continue to put more of these out. Seems like people like them. And yeah, let me know, are there things that you're going to go reassess now? Are there other ideas that were spurred because of this? We had some great discussions in my comments last time, and I'd love to keep doing that.
It is 2025. You need an emergency fund. There are too many things in life that can happen for you not to have one. You are literally living life on the edge if you don't have some money saved up. You know how much life is different when you have a problem and you have the money versus when you don't? Let me show you. It's gonna be how much? How am I get the money? How am I get the money? Damn, it's gonna cost how much? Damn. It is now day 24 of trying not to spend money on things I don't need. And really, this is the first line of defense, the emergency fund. A lot of people don't understand this. Your hot water heater might go out, your tire might blow, your check might not hit on the day it's supposed to hit. Anything can happen. So if you ain't got it, let's go get it. We gotta work some extra hours, pick up a new part-time job, a new gig or something. We gotta play the hand that's dealt to us.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.